Evening, friends. This is day 8 of the 30 videos a day challenge. I'm Fuad Olajuwon, and let's get started. I wanted to talk a little bit about expectations. Expectations and what they mean in terms of your life or life in general. For example, if you watched one of the earlier videos within this challenge, I talked a little bit about the history of why I'm here in Japan. And it's been a long time of studying the culture and reading book after book about the culture and history and politics and economics and etc., etc., etc. It got to the point where I would read so many different perspectives on the country itself that my expectations as to what would happen to me personally on a micro level where they were convoluted. I had no idea how to approach anything. So frantically, I would get upset about finding one aspect about the culture where I would think, oh, that's interesting. Or then another aspect where I would say, oh, that's fantastic. And, back and forth. It was like this game of intellectual tug of war. Eventually, it got to the point where I realized that their perspective on things could be completely different than mine. So I'm going to go in to a new environment, into a new frontier, with little to no expectations at all. Now, why is this important? A few years ago, I went on a cruise across the Caribbean, and this cruise was relaxing, of course, but for the most part, it was a conference on the seas for a few days. And there at that conference, there was a spiritual guru, like a yogi, and he said something to me that in one of his lectures that I will never forget. And basically, he says that you can only be hurt by life when you place too many expectations upon it. And that was a very profound point. Because until then, I would have anxiety about the unknown. I would constantly talk about, well, I don't know what's going to happen here, or I expect that this might happen, or this person didn't act how I expected them to act, so now I'm upset, or X, Y, and Z. And then I realized that expectations are a cage. Expectations are a mental prison that you put, that you yourself are into. You place yourself into it, no one else. So when I approach things now, it's with the mindset of, oh, well, let's see what happens. As opposed to, well, I think maybe this will happen, or I think maybe that'll happen, or I think this will happen. And now that I'm thinking about it, in my last video, I was talking about the fear of the unknown. And as I work this problem out now, I'm realizing that I'm putting out false expectations. I'm putting out things that may not even occur because I don't know what will happen. No one knows what will happen from moment to moment. But when we try to put our own convictions on things, especially on people, because you can't control people. But that's a video for another day. But I found that there was a relationship between my expectations and my level of happiness. It was as if the more I limited my expectations on things, the happier I was. Because then I was just truly in the moment. I didn't expect, or I didn't place the moment into any sort of paradigm. I just experienced it. And that's kind of what I would say to someone who would be interested in, especially like a country like Japan, or traveling anywhere and living for an extended period of time, is that come in with just an open book, blank slate. You could be so excited to be here for whatever reason, and that's great. But just realize that you don't know what's going to happen from moment to moment. So just come in and say, I'm in a new area. This is all foreign to me, but I will learn new things about the place I'm in. And most importantly, I will learn new things about myself. So, let's see what happens. So, no expectations. All right. Thank you for watching this video. This is day 8 of the 30 videos a day challenge. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And until next time. Otsukaresama desu.